My online order from Barnes & Noble arrived, so I have a small stack of Criterion titles that I got during the sale. These are 3 titles that I knew for sure I wanted to get, and then I just tacked another one onto the order. Before I get into it, I just want to say hello and thank you to anyone who watched my previous video and subscribed to my channel. And while a lot of the videos that I've uploaded more recently have been Criterion and or film related, I do talk about more than just film, just a FYI. I get nervous that people only subscribe for like film related content, and then I'm like really aware when I make a video that has more to do with books or K-pop or something. So, okay, the first film that I have here, I mentioned in my previous video. This is Spy Number 721, and it is Love Streams, directed by John Cassavetes from 1984. And I talked about how I forgot to look up her channel name again. I think her name is Sierra, spelled like Siera, I think. Oh my gosh, I'll have to cut this out if it's wrong, but I think her name is Sierra, and I watched a video of hers. She was going through her entire Criterion collection, and this is her favorite movie, and just the way that she talked about it, I'll link it in the description and put it in the card for you to check out as well. Just the way that she talked about it, I knew I had to get it during the next sale, so I have it now. And this also means I have every John Cassavetes film that he's directed that is available on the Criterion collection. The other ones being the John Cassavetes 5-film box set and Husbands, which is the title that I got in the last video. And I don't really know what this is about, but I think it has to do with John Cassavetes and Gina Rowland's... Gina? Who's Gina? Jenna! John Cassavetes' character and Jenna Rowland's characters coming together and, like, they're in love. They're, like, reuniting and in love. And then the next title I got is Spy Number 1025, Wes Anderson's The Grand Budapest Hotel from 2014. Now I officially have all the Wes Anderson films that are in the collection again, because this is a newer release, and so I had to get it once it was released. I've only seen this once, and I haven't seen Isle of Dogs, but unpopular opinion, this is my least favorite Wes Anderson film. Yeah, but that makes me excited to revisit it because it's been 6 years, and I think I might have just had like too high of expectations. I remember seeing the trailer for this and thinking, this could be my new favorite Wes Anderson film. It could surpass The Royal Tenenbaums, but it didn't. I kept thinking about it after I saw it in theaters, and I just thought it was too much. There are multiple time periods within the film. I think there's 3, and each of them have their own like color palette and even aspect ratio, and it was too much for one film. And I think I would have been okay if it was just like 2 different, like 2 periods, but it was more than that. And then another complaint I have about this, or something that I just don't like as much, is that while I do like that Wes Anderson usually kind of picks from his repertoire of actors that he works with often, he also keeps expanding that list of actors. So this film has many actors that he's previously worked with, but also so many that he hasn't. And it's too much. There's too many characters. I don't know anybody's names. I don't care about anybody because I'm not getting to know them. And for me, it just like creates this disconnect that I don't like when I'm watching a film. Yeah, so that's like not really supposed to be a rant about the Grand Budapest Hotel, but those were just some issues that I saw with it the first time around. So hopefully my appreciation and liking of it can increase upon reviewing it. And I'm excited to get to all the supplements that are on the release. The next film I have here is Spy Number 1034 from just last year, 2019, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, directed by Céline Sciamma, I think that's how I want to pronounce it. The SC is kind of confusing me because that's not common in French, and I'm assuming she's French because the movie is French. Céline Sciamma. I'm gonna have to double check that and maybe correct myself in the description. Portrait of a Lady on Fire. This film is stunning. Oh my gosh. This is a movie that as soon as I finished watching it, I just wanted to watch it again. I couldn't because I was doing like a movie marathon with some other people, and we were all like watching movies individually at our own homes and trying to start them at the same time. But nonetheless, I have seen this before and I wanted to watch it again almost immediately. So I'm excited. Again, like all of these, I'm excited to watch them and watch the supplements. This one I would really like to know more about the making of, and to just kind of like get more into the mindset of the director. And I can't even. This is me trying to talk about this film because it really does just leave you like speechless. At least I don't know, that's how I felt. I was just like, I've just witnessed cinema. Oh my god. I kind of just realized, I wonder if this, oh my gosh. I can see this becoming a frequently rewatched film for me. Because I just realized it's, except for not having as explicit sex scenes, it's like a period piece of Blue is the Warmest Color. And that, if you don't know, is one of my favorite films. And I watch it probably too often. I have this habit of watching it like every Valentine's Day. I don't know what that says about me. New Valentine's Day movie though is Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I don't even know what to say after that. Okay. I do again realize that I'm not really telling you much about the films. The Grand Budapest Hotel has to do with a manager who, this guy who runs a hotel, and he's running from the law. I honestly don't even remember what happens in this. He like inherits the painting, right? Or like he didn't inherit it, but he was like supposed to after the old lady died. Inherit, like they're related, but like it's supposed to go to him. And then he steals it, and then he runs away. Is that what happens? The rest of it is just so convoluted with all this other stuff, which is fine. I don't mind that kind of like journey or adventure story, but it makes it hard to talk about. Harder than it already is for me to talk about movies, apparently. And Portrait of a Lady on Fire is about this young woman who was hired to secretly paint another young woman's portrait. She is being married off, and the husband-to-be wants a portrait of her, but she won't sit for a portrait to be done because she doesn't want to get married. Or married to this guy that she doesn't know and doesn't love. But meanwhile, the painter is observing her secretly as she's pretending to be like a companion for her, and they fall in love. And it's beautiful. And the last film I have to talk about here is Spine Number 137, a somewhat recent upgrade, I think from last year or 2 years ago maybe. Notorious, directed by Alfred Hitchcock from 1946. And this one I have seen before, so Love Streams is the only one that I hadn't seen previously. And this one I actually just rewatched tonight, so the disc is still in my player, and I'm going to go through the rest of the supplements that I have to watch. In this one, I always mix up with, I mean, not anymore because I've seen it again, but I mix this up often with Suspicion, which is another Hitchcock film that also stars Cary Grant, and his characters in both films to me are like pretty mysterious. Like I can't really wrap my head around them. And I think what's done really well in this film is just all of the shots of these objects. And it's like shots of objects that are really important to the story and important to the characters, and then sort of reactionary shots and the turn of events that happen. Which, I mean, Hitchcock is the master of suspense, and that just shows it right here in this movie. I do think it's kind of an oddly paced film, because in the beginning it's setting things up and there's a lot of shorter scenes, and it seems a little choppy to me. And then once the plot really starts going and the characters are involved in this situation, which I'll explain momentarily since I haven't talked about what it is actually about, the shots do get longer and they also take place more so during like one night, as opposed to one of the reasons why it's a little choppy in the beginning. I'd say maybe the first 20 to 30 minutes. It'll have a scene that's a minute and then it'll be a week later and you'll have another 2 minute scene and then it'll be the next day and it'll have, again another 2 minute scene. So it becomes more eventful as the film goes on and the shots become longer as well. Or at least the scenes. There are still some like choppy moments, but that's to build suspense and it's like going from one character to another and you're like seeing their reactions. But the film is about this young woman, Alicia, whose father was a traitor and doing work for the Nazis in America, and he is convicted to 20 years in prison. And then an American agency contacts Alicia to try to get her to become an agent for them, to get her to infiltrate other Germans who are working for the Nazi regime, and that's all I'm going to say. I was going to be more specific, but I'll just leave it at that. I don't think it's one of my favorite Hitchcock films, but it is a great one to watch, and I think especially if you just want to understand Hitchcock more as a director, this is a really good film to showcase that. Yes, so those are the last 4 Criterion titles that I picked up during the sale. I still keep contemplating whether or not I'm going to make another order. Everyone's getting that Bruce Lee box set, and I'm kind of like, I've never seen any of his films, so maybe I want to pick that up, and especially because everyone else is talking about it, it makes me want to pick it up as well. Yeah, so again, tell me what you think about these films. Hopefully this video is okay, because for some reason I struggled a lot with like my phrasing and trying to speak. Are there any more titles that you're looking at getting? I'd love to know in the comments. And thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.